they can do whatever that they want, and I am not scared. I will fight head on.
In a quick turn of events, Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, has put up his new refinery for sale. This is coming after a few days of back and forth between him and the government regulatory agency that claimed that products from his refinery are substandard. In an exclusive interview with Premium Times, Dangote lamented, quote, "4 years ago, one of my very wealthy friends began to invest his money abroad. I disagreed with him and urged him to rethink his action in the interest of his country. He blamed his action on policy inconsistencies and interest groups. That friend has been taunting me in the past few days, saying he warned me and that he has been proven right. As you probably know, I am 67 years old. In less than 3 years, I will be 70. I need very little to live the rest of my life. I can't take the refinery or any other property or asset to my grave. Everything I do is in the interest of my country. This refinery can help resolve the problem, but it seems some people are uncomfortable with me in the picture. So I am ready to let go. Let the NNPC buy me out and run the refinery. At least the country will have high-quality products and create jobs," unquote. One of the accusations by the government regulatory agencies that Dangote wants to monopolize the oil industry in Nigeria. He debunked that claim in an interview he granted to newsmen, courtesy of Channels TV.
We are always the first mover. We always move first, then other people will follow. And we have never, ever, whether consciously or unconsciously, stopped anybody from doing the same business that we are doing. To the contrary, when you look at it, when we first came into cement production, it was actually only Lafarge that was operating here in Nigeria, which is Iwekoro, and then the one in Ashaka in Gombe. Nobody ever called Lafarge, monopoly. But we, Dangote, the first plant we set up was 5 million tons. That was the first one against less than 2 million of local production. But when we got in there, people now start saying, monopoly, monopoly. And this is really very disheartening when people keep talking about all this monopoly. Monopoly, it is only when you stop people, you block them through legal means or whatever. No, it's a level playing field where whatever Dangote was given, okay, in cement, for example, okay, other people too were given. In fact, some of them maybe they even got more than us. Okay, we are always very, very careful. You heard what I said. In the refinery, we did not, and I repeat, we did not collect one single incentive from the federal government of Nigeria or from even the Lagos state of Nigeria. Yes, Lagos state, maybe they gave us a good deal, but we paid $100 million for the land. It wasn't a free land.
You see, what should worry Nigerians is the fact that a dollar billionaire is protesting how the government is treating him. He's granting interviews left, right, and center, making the world know this is what I am going through as a Nigerian citizen. So imagine what you, as an outsider, a foreigner who has intention of investing in Nigeria, imagine what he will go through. This is what should worry Nigerians, not whether Dangote is a monopoly or not. After all, if a dollar billionaire is protesting against the government, how much more a petty trader or a businessman that is managing his life trying to feed his family that may never earn up to 0.5% of Dangote's wealth in his lifetime, what will that person be doing if a dollar billionaire is already protesting against government policies that is affecting his $20 billion investment? One of the mistakes people make is thinking that Tinubu is doing them a favor by fighting Dangote, the monopoly. What a joke. Between two of them, who have Nigerians benefited from more than the other? Who has created more employment on a massive scale for Nigerians? At least, even if Dangote is a monopoly, he doesn't want you to die. You have to be alive in order to buy his products, so he cares about his clients and customers. Will you say the same thing about Tinubu? He doesn't give a damn. He doesn't want to know if you are alive or not. He doesn't care about your suffering. all the threats of protests by people around Nigeria, he has not changed anything. He has not done a single thing that will say, please don't do this protest. I will do this, I will correct this, I will reverse this one, I will reverse that. No. Instead, they are busy fighting the man that will create serious value in Nigeria's economy. This refinery alone will add serious value to Nigeria's economy going forward. At least it will be able to stop importation of petroleum products. But they don't want that because of the massive corruption involved in petrol subsidy. They don't want people to know the actual quantity of petrol that is consumed in Nigeria. That's the secret. Because when you want to calculate petrol subsidy, you must make sure you tie it to the quantity of petrol that is imported. They don't want Nigerians to know this number. A government that cares about Nigerians, about their well-being, about the economy, about everything, they must make sure this refinery works. Is that the situation in Nigeria? No. They are busy fighting each other, and the economy and Nigerians are suffering because of it. Everywhere in the world, even in developed countries, United States, China, Europe, it's not easy to get an investment that is worth $20 billion. Dangote did it in Nigeria. Look at what it's receiving in return. So imagine if Dangote built this refinery in somewhere like Angola. They wouldn't treat him this way. They will give him priority because they know the value he has added to their economy. They know how they will benefit from the refinery. They wouldn't joke with it. But in Nigeria, it's all about selfish interest, not national interest. And some people are subconsciously or consciously helping them to spread the narrative that Dangote wants to monopolize Nigeria's oil industry. No one should be talking about monopoly in this industry because the government has failed to invest in refineries more than how many decades? About 30 years. So the fact that Dangote took the risk and invested in refinery doesn't make him a monopoly. How can he be a monopoly when the government has failed in producing petrol locally in Nigeria? So if they are truly worried about monopoly, let them start building refineries in Nigeria. How many times have they shifted the timeline for Port Harcourt refinery? This year alone, the NNPC has given up to 2 times that the refinery will start working, but it's not yet there. So why are they sabotaging a refinery that can give Nigerians petrol supply? We're not even talking about whether it will be cheaper or not, but at least let there be constant supply of the petrol and diesel and other fuels that we need in Nigeria. This should be the concern of Nigerians, but unfortunately, majority are not even seeing this big picture. Because of selfishness, many Nigerians are selfish. Once something is not affecting them directly, they wouldn't care. They don't want to know what is happening. They don't give a damn. Until that Nigeria happens to them directly, they will start shouting and crying for help. The reality is that the way Nigerian leaders abuse their powers and put their selfish interest before national interest, it makes it very difficult to operate in Nigerian environment. That's the reality. That's why things will never get better in the nearest future because it is businesses that create jobs. Once the environment is very hostile for business, there won't be any jobs created, and the few that are employed won't be sure of their job security. They could be sacked at any moment because existing businesses are still subjected to that hostile environment. They could give up any day, like many multinationals already left Nigerian market. And Nigerian market is already poised to lose the likes of Dangote. Yes, even if he doesn't eventually sell the refinery, has already said that they will no longer invest in the steel sector. So who is losing? Is it billionaire Dangote who can afford to invest in other countries like his friend did? He can afford to buy one island and live the rest of his life a fulfilled man. Or is it Nigeria that needs serious investment in order to create employment? They need investment in infrastructure where the government is lacking. You see, many countries, they started out with individuals or companies that monopolized many sectors. But it was the sincerity of their leaders that made sure that these companies or individuals didn't take advantage because they were major actors in these sectors. You can't stop a man because he wants to invest in an underutilized sector. That's not how business works. You can look at the story of South Korea, how they depended on one man to fight all their wars, and eventually they liberalized their economy. Even up to today, they have few major companies that are into manufacturing in different sectors. So it can be done in Nigeria if Nigerian leaders are sincere. They can always tweak the laws to make sure people don't take advantage, to prevent big companies from dominating and taking advantage of Nigerians. They can do this. But they rather chase the person away and take over that monopoly and be taking all the profits by themselves. This is what is happening. In any case that they do not succeed in taking over the person's business, they will use importation, like in this case, to make sure that the person can never operate.
The Ashwaju of Nigeria, who is here with us, the honorable ministers.
This is Dangote eulogizing Tinubu before the presidential election, although he also backed Atiku in the election, but you wouldn't blame him because Nigerian businessmen, especially the hugely exposed ones like Dangote, they must make sure that they are in the good books of leaders. They must back major candidates that they feel might win the election, so as to be in their good books, because Nigerian leaders abuse their powers. You don't know what will go wrong. They will come after the person and make sure they run him out of business. All these point to the fact that Nigeria is not working. In developed countries, wealthy individuals always rally around a candidate that they feel will cover their interest, especially make sure the status quo in the economy continues, not trying to stifle the economy with taxes or regulations. When you have too much regulations, it hurts the economy instead of improving it. So it happens, and no one is afraid of anyone because rule of law is paramount in these countries. You can't come after anyone just because of his choice of candidate in a presidential election. So this is what Nigerians should focus on. Nigeria should be made a free society that works for everyone. No one should be afraid to declare where he belongs or who is backing in an election. No one should be afraid of retribution or vendetta because of his choice of candidate after an election. This is where the problem lies. Until we correct this, the economy will never grow, suffering will continue, Nigerian leaders will continue with their corruption and taking advantage of everything. So what people should be worried about is the fact that if Nigeria can happen to a dollar billionaire, that means it can happen to anyone. So it's not a matter of, this man, this is his retribution, this is karma after him, he has been enjoying government patronage. No. It actually affects the common man more than Dangote will ever be affected. Thanks for watching.